All right. Hi, everyone. Frankie here. New West Reset. Hello. How's it going, eh? Welcome back. And thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one. Another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 17 here today. The Mother's Day edition of the show. So happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. I just got off the phone with my mom about, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. I called her at 1 in the afternoon, and it was over 3.5 hour call. You know, I love her. I love my mother. But, wow, it's taxing, isn't it? God bless all the moms. I love you, Ma. Happy Mother's Day. Anyways, thanks for joining me here for the Mother's Day edition of the show, The Goddess of the Old World, episode 17, as mentioned. And as always, we're coming at you live from Calgary here in southern Alberta, Purdy, Alberta. Quite purdy today. It went up to roughly 20 Celsius today, 70, 72-ish Fahrenheit is not bad for a spring day, It said it was going to rain. I don't think it did rain, though. We could use some rain, but it's fine. It's fine. But it's been hovering around 20 to 25 Celsius for the past couple of days. So that's, low to mid 70s-ish, give or take, Fahrenheit. So, it's warm. It's nice, spring, warm, blue skies. Windy, though. Windier than a fart convention. I don't know what that means. Anyway, thanks for joining me here. Sunday, May the 11th, 2025, Mother's Day. So once again, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be looking at Goddess of the Old World. Sort of the origin, the odd origin, the weird origin of Mother's Day. I don't know. I always thought, I don't know if I heard it somewhere or read it somewhere sometime way back in the day. I don't know, when I was in my 20s, so in the 1990s or something. The Mother's Day was invented by the Hallmark greeting card company. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But that was pre-internet. You couldn't really, how do you look up something like that? You call Hallmark, their head office in, I don't know, Winnipesaukee, Minnesota, or wherever the hell they are. I don't know where they are. And say, hey, did you invent Mother's Day? They're going to be like, what? Like, I don't know how you. So sure, I believe that. Not surprised. Makes sense. Boost those card sales in May. Turns out, nope, that's not true at all. It's absolutely false. It's I had no idea. I had no idea. It's complete horseshit. So, okay, there's that. Anyway, thanks for joining me once again. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, got one of these. Just kind of helps to push me out into the thing. You know the routine by now. Thanks to everybody who's already shared, subscribed. If you're watching this after the fact, happy belated Mother's Day. And thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate that. And as per usual, links below for everything we're going to be covering here on the actual, or well, at least what they tell us, is the origin of Mother's Day. It's not the Hallmark greeting card thing. Links below for all of that down there. And, of course, links for, all of my, how you can get a hold of a guy. Email, if you have any show ideas or you want to share some videos or, I don't know, photos of your local post office or your city hall or town hall or whatever. I'm always interested in that stuff. Of course, BitChute and the Bumble, the green fighting platform, which they're experiencing some technical difficulties over there. So unfortunately, I'm not broadcasting simultaneously with the live stream over there this week. So sorry about that, eh? Speaking of box down there, links and everything and so on, let's see who's in the chat in the box over here. Shall we? Say hello to everybody. See how everybody's doing, on the Mother's Day. Kathy Broughton is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. How's it going there, eh? Channel Fitty Tree is here. Hello. How are you? Thanks for shooting in there, eh? Tidal! Tidal's here. Hey, Ma! Hey, Ma! Tidal's here. Ma, Tidal's here. Good to see you, Tidal. Hello. How's it going? Hey, I'm Frankie Fingers, and this is Cousin Vinny over here, huh? Cousin Vinny, good to see you. How's it going there, bud? Hope you're doing all right, feeling all right, and whatnot.
So, Tommy, where have you been, huh? I've been watching New West Reset, huh? Well, it's New West Reset. It's this thing on YouTube. He goes around, he does his boots on the ground thing. I'll tell you.
Hiya, hippie. Happy Mother's Day to you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hippies. Hippie likes to keep an eye on things and share the links. Moderator extraordinaire. Moderatress. Mrs. Moderator? I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, thanks for being here, hippie. Appreciate you as always. Hello. Kimmy. Hello. Thanks for shooting in. I like to say her name like that. It's just fun. Kimmy. I don't know why. It's just fun. You know how it is around here.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Ubucon in the box. M is for mother. You're a bad mother. Hush your mouth and talk about Shaft. Baja is here. Baja. Hello, hello. Yeah, it was a nice day here for Ma, they live in a different town than I do, and I don't drive, and it's kind of a pain in the keister to get out there as often as I would like. That's a nice buffer zone on occasion, though. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just email transferred my daddy some money, and he's gonna take Mom out for a bite to eat for Mother's Day. So, and my sister lives way out of town, like 2 hours from south of Calgary there, basically. And my brother's working right now, so yeah, it is what it is. Mother's Day, yeah, it's just a number on the map. Give your ma a call. Go and pay her a visit. Give her a hug. Give her a peck on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? Modoc in the box. Hello. How's it going there, bud? Water the tree is here. That's what you got to do. It's baby steps, baby. It's got slow but sure, like the tortoise and the hare, right, Title? Slow but sure wins the race. Just keep at her. Keep at her. Sometimes the Hootubes can be a real SOB. But hey, just keep doing your thing. Just keep doing your thing. That's what I do. I know they hate me. I know they shadow ban me. But it's fine. Whatever. It's not going to stop me from exploring my own backyard here. Some boots on the ground with some weird old world buildings that don't fit the narrative. Pastor of Castles, hello, hello. Thanks for shooting in. Appreciate it. So yeah, thanks everybody for taking time out of your weekend here. Join yours truly on, well, you guessed it, the Sunday Fun Day, Mother's Day edition. Old World, Michigan in the box. Hello. Tell your ma I said Happy Mother's Day. Huh? Tell her Frankie Hey, psst, Mom, I got a message for you. Frankie Fingers says Happy Ma's Day there, eh? Happy Mother's Day there, over there. So as mentioned, links below for everything we're going to cover, as well as all the other stuffs. You know, guys, PayPal, if you want to contribute to the maple syrup and maple donut fund, maple bacon, all the maple things, all the Canadian food groups, maple syrup, maple donuts, maple bacon, and maple baked beans. Howdy, Chassie. Good to see you. Whoops, where are you? There you are. That's right. Say hello to your mother for me, eh? All right. Settle down now, everybody. Sheesh. So as per usual, we're going to look at a couple of things. I got some stuff from Britannica.com. Of course, Wikipedia, because they're always good for shits and giggles. Got some photographs, too, that we'll look at after we take a mid-show break. Give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek. As per usual, you know. Once again, thank you for shooting in and joining a fella here. We might as well get the show on the road here. Eh? As mentioned, I always thought that the Mother's Day was started by Hallmark greeting cards. I'm not joking. I ain't playing around with you. I thought the Hallmark greeting card company started Mother's Day.
I don't believe you.
But no, that's not it. That's not it at all. It's not it at all. I'm just, you know what? Let's start with, see what, might as well just start with what Wikipedia says. Oh, motorcycle going by outside. As mentioned, it's beauty out there, eh? So, windows open. You can hear trains. You can hear motorcycles and souped up muscle cars. And, of course, you're going to hear sirens. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Howdy, Howie. Good to see you. He says, hey, Frankie, how weird here. How's it going? Good to see you, my friend. Hello, hello. Just checking out the origins of Mother's Day because it's weird and different than I always thought. I mean, of course, you know, you say, oh, it's based on like some pagan thing. And then you're like, oh, a pagan thing. Oh, of course. Shouldn't be shocked at all. Ah, it's a Kansas City company, is it? Ubukan with Fast and Furious with the Facts. Hallmark, Kansas City company. Nice. Vincent says, I heard that rumor too. Yeah, right? Right? Kathy Broaden says too, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Hallmark made up Mother's Day. They sure as heck made bank on it, I'll tell you. What? They ain't playing around. Then everybody got on the action. All the card companies, Hallmark, Carlton, Shoebox Greetings. I don't know. I'm not a greeting card guy. People in my family get cards at Christmas and their birthday. And that's when I see them and I hand it to them. Boy, here you go. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Happy Christmas. Merry birthday. Whatever, however. Anyway, Wikipedia. Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a celebration honoring the mother. Oh, really? Of the family or individual, as well as motherhood, maternal bonds, and the influence of mothers in society. It's celebrated on different days in many parts of the world, most commonly in March or May. See, so Hallmark double dipping there on the Mother's Day celebrations if it's over a couple of different months, depending where in the realm. It complements similar celebrations honoring family members, such as Father's Day, Siblings Day, I didn't even know there was such a thing, and Grandparents' Day. Oh yeah, that's right too. Give your grandma or your granddaddy a call, or go over and visit and give him a hug and a peck on the cheek too. Tell him you love him. Granddaddy, I love you, even if he looks at you and says, gay. Doesn't matter. You got to tell your granddaddy and your grandma. Anyway, countries around the world have a multi-century history of a day to celebrate mothers. See, that I didn't know. I didn't know it went back multiple centuries. No idea. No idea whatsoever. I thought, it's what started maybe in the 1920s when these people started, greeting cards and postcards became a thing. You know what I mean? Right, Stephen? Stephen Link knows what I'm talking about. So in the 19th century, the British Isles, Mothering Sunday, not to be confused with Smothering Monday. That's a completely different holiday. Don't confuse those and smother your mother now, unless you're smothering her with kisses. Anyway, I don't know why I'm stuck on that. I'm being weird. Anyway, it was celebrated on the fourth Sunday in Lent, a practice which continues in the present day. On this day, clerics and curates were encouraged to use the time of their disposal to visit their original mother churches. So there you go. Is that right, Hippie? Is that a thing? Hippie's not really she's not in England, she's in Wales, but UK stuff, right? That's right. Postcards were the original Instagram flex, right? Look what I got. I got a postcard from when I just came back from my visit to Halifax, Nova Scotia there, bud? Beat that. Oh, buddy, I got one from Victoria, British Columbia, She's a pretty one there. In the United States, whoa, settle down. In the United States, the modern version of the holiday began in the early 20th century at the initiative of Anna Jarvis. See, I had never heard of this lady. She organized the first Mother's Day service, worship, and celebration at Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in Grafton, Wisconsin? Nope. Grafton, West Virginia, which serves as the International Mother's Day Shrine today. There you go. I had no idea. Why did I hear about that stupid Hallmark thing and not this lady? Oh, we'll find out why. It's not directly related to the many traditional celebrations of mothers and motherhood that have existed throughout the world over thousands of years. So now it's not just centuries, it's millennia now. Such as the Greek cult to Cybele. That's all of those are wrong. Anyway, the mother deity Rhea, the Roman festival of Hilaria. That's a funny name. See what I did there? All right, I'm sorry. Sorry, that was bad. Or the Christian ecclesiastical Mothering Sunday celebration associated with the image of Mother Church. Yeah, you said that up here already. Anyway, however, in some countries, Mother's Day is still synonymous with these older traditions. So there you go. I had no idea. What's going on here? Chassis Nicks in the box says, my parents are antique dealers. They have old postcards that are 100 plus years old. Just the town and a name, no address. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Like blank ones, you mean? Pasture of Castle says Mason shit. Oh, yeah, with the whole pagan thing. Masons were really good at taking these, or at least they lay claim to taking a lot of these old observances and traditions and ceremonies and, hullabaloo, and bringing it into the modern times through their lodges and, their shenanigans. But I don't believe. I don't know. Again, we'll go with the 80-20 rule. I don't believe 80% of what those guys are saying. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. The American version of Mother's Day has been criticized for having become too commercialized. You don't say. Every holiday has become too commercialized. Christmas being the worstest of the worst, I think. The mostest, worsterest. Jarvis herself, who began the celebration as a liturgical, I don't know what that means, I'm sorry, liturgical observance, regretted this commercialism and expressed that this was never her intention. In response, Constant Adlai Smith successfully advocated for Mothering Sunday as a commemoration of a broader definition of motherhood in many parts of the English-speaking world. Yeah, all those postcards that you see, city scenes or street scenes, or, a couple of important buildings next to each other taken from a slight angle on the front of a postcard, whether it's, black and white or been colorized. But no people. You might see a car or a horse and buggy parked out front, or their favorite, the electric streetcar trolley tram in front of, let's say, the state building or whatever, state capitol building. But yeah, not often people. In fact, we've seen a lot of examples of the old photographs where they painted in people, haven't we? The old world Photoshop where they got a guy with a very fine brush and that special ink paint. He just paints in people and vehicles sometimes. Establishment of the holiday. Modern holiday was first celebrated in 1907 with Anna Jarvis, held the first Mother's Day service worship and yada yada. Okay, they told us that already. Her campaign to make Mother's Day a recognized holiday in the United States began in 1905, the year her mother, Anne Reese Jarvis, deleted and passed on. Too bad. And Jarvis had been a peace activist who cared for wounded soldiers on both sides of the American Civil Boom Boom conflict. Really? 1905. So, when was the Civil War? In the 1870s? So by 1905, it had already been, 30 years-ish, give or take? Forgive my Canadian naivete. But correct me in the box if I'm incorrect, but this American Civil War was 1870s, right? So, yeah, I guess she was pretty on in years by the time she kicked this thing off. She must have already been in her 40s or 50s when she started this whole Mother's Day thing in 05. Anyway, moving on. She created Mother's Day work clubs to address public health issues. She and another peace activist and suffragettist, Julia Ward Howe. Who's this lady? Oh, yeah. Hello, miss. Hello, Ms. Okay. Had been urging for the creation of a Mother's Day for Peace, where mothers would ask that their husbands and sons were no longer deleted in boom booms. 40 years before it became an official holiday, Ward Howe made her Mother's Day proclamation in 1870. She called upon mothers of all nationalities to band together to promote the amicable settlement of international questions the great and general interests of peace. Ah, nice. Hear, hear. And Jarvis wanted to honor this and set aside a day to honor all mothers because she believed a mother is the person who has done more for you than anyone in the world. Well, gave birth to you for starters. That's not exactly tiptoeing through the tulips, from what I understand. For the most part, it's not exactly a walk in the park. Pastor of Castle says incubator day. Do clones have moms? They would be their own mother or father, I guess. That's a nice brain teaser. That's a good question. Kathy Broughton says I'm correct. So yeah, 1870, mid to late 1870s, right? So So started it as a service for successful and became resentful of the commercialization of the holiday. It became associated with the phrase Hallmark holiday. Okay, so there's where I'm getting it. So people just use that as a nice catch-all phrase for it's not a real holiday, it's a Hallmark holiday because it's all commercialized. By the early 20s, Hallmark cards, there it is. And other companies had started selling Mother's Day cards. Jarvis believed that the companies had misrepresented and exploited the idea of Mother's Day, and that the emphasis of the holiday was on sentiment, not profit. As a result, she organized boycotts of Mother's Day and threatened to issue lawsuits against the companies. Wow. She argued that people should appreciate and honor their mothers through handwritten letters expressing their love and gratitude. How about a hug and a kiss on the cheek from Mama? But yeah, barring that, phone call, but this, I guess, pre-telephone, yeah, nice handwritten letter. A homemade card, like you were in grade 2. Instead of buying gifts and pre-made cards. Jarvis protested at a candy makers convention in Philadelphia in 1923 and at a marketing of American War mothers in 1925. By this time, carnations have become associated with Mother's Day. That's my mama's favorite flower, is a carnation. And the selling of carnations by the American war mothers to raise money angered Jarvis, who was arrested for disturbing the peace. Wow. Stuck to her guns, that one. Bless her. In Britain, Constance Adelaide Smith, of course, if she's British, her name is Constance. Hello, I'm Constance Adelaide Smith. Surprised it's not spelled Smythe. Anyway, was inspired to advocate for Mothering Sunday, already existing Christian ecclesiastical celebration and available to visit church in which they receive sacrament of baptism as equivalent celebration. She referred to the medieval traditions of celebrating Mother Church, mothers of earthly homes, Mary, Mother of Jesus, and Mother Nature. Yeah, throw all the mothers in there. Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the Mother Mary, Bad Mother, all the mothers. Channel 53 says, talk to my mom for an hour today. It was great. Yeah, I spoke to mine for over 3.5 hours. And don't get me wrong. When I say, it can be taxing, that's kind of exaggerating a little bit. She's on in years and her health is kind of up and down. So she tends to repeat herself or forget that she already, like Ma, you already told me that their story last time I talked to you a few days ago. Or the last time I saw you last week or whatever, but it's still great to, of course, and Dad gets on the phone, of course, hey, son, how you doing there? Hey, Pop. Yeah, I'm going to take your mother out for dinner. I'm going to get ribs. See, so Dad's going to have ribs for the Mother's Day dinner. My mother will have the chicken. I'll have the chicken. I'll have the chicken. Or maybe the fish. I'll have the fish. She'll change her main 6 times and waffle between chicken and fish. Ma, get the ribs too. Why not? They're delicious. Anyway, so yeah, there's this big thing going on here with these ladies, and especially Jarvis. She's pissed. She's pissed at the candy makers and the greeting card makers. So in 1912, Anna Jarvis trademarked the phrase second Sunday in May, Mother's Day. Anna Jarvis, founder there, and created the Mother's Day International Association. Boom. Don't mess with this lady. She specifically noted that mothers should be a singular possessive for each family to honor its own mother, not a plural possessive commemorating all mothers in the whole wide world. This is also the spelling used by U.S. President Woodrow Wilson in his 1940 presidential proclamation by the United States Congress in relevant bills, and by various U.S. presidents in their proclamations concerning Mother's Day. Yes, apostrophe S, capital Mother, capital D. Makes sense. Makes sense. Sure. Scott Pike is here. Howdy, Scott. Good to see you. Thanks for shooting in there, bud. Cousin Vinny, Vincent says, New West, what did you guys talk about? Wow. Oh, just, like I said, when my loving mother, tends to repeat herself, something that would take an hour, generally, buries the needle, pedal to the metal, going for that long haul, 3-hour conversation. And again, conversation is, I use that word very loosely, the word conversation, because pretty much, let's just say my mother's the only woman on the beach that can get sunburn on her tongue. Gotta wait for her to take a nice deep breath from all of her chattering so you can get a word in edgewise. And she still may get frustrated that you interrupted her, even though she's been prattling on for 15 minutes and hasn't given you a chance to say anything. Except for baby, oh, I see. So, yeah. But it's still, it's still a pleasure to chat with Ma, because she's still here at least, No, she's pretty sure she's not. She's probably having the chicken or the fish right now at the little restaurant there. Dates around the world. While the United States holiday was adopted by some other countries, existing celebrations held on different dates honoring motherhood have become described as Mother's Day, such as Mothering Sunday in the UK. Or in Greece, the Eastern Orthodox celebration of the presentation of Jesus Christ to the temple is the 2nd of February on the Julian calendar. Both secular and religious Mother's Day are present in Greece. Mothering Sunday is often referred to as Mother's Day, even though it's an unrelated celebration. Some countries, the date adopted is one significant to the majority religion, such as Virgin Mary Day in Catholic countries. They just like to mishmash all the stuff. Well, we'll put it over here with this day, but it's already a day. Yeah, well, now it's a double day. So now you get time off with pay at work. How's that? All right, you happy now? Other countries selected a day with historical significance. For example, Bolivia's Mother's Day is a fixed date, May 27th, commemorating a battle in which women participated to defend their children. Oh, okay, there you go. That's a whole different kind of Mother's Day. Some countries, such as Ruskaland, celebrate International Women's Day instead of Mother's Day, or simply celebrate both holidays, which is custom in the Ukrainiesk has recently introduced Mother's Day, but year on year, International Women's Day is certainly increasing. Okay. So they just, again, this is Mother's Day, but that's Women's Day. It's different. Not all women's are mothers. Okay, well, we'll just put them all together. It's fine. It's fine. Close enough. Right? Old World Meat Mock in the box. Quainy Dap. Good to see you. Hello, hello. A lot of dads get Al Bundy level respect, says Baja. Yeah, Father's Days. Here's a pair of socks, Pops. Or here's a tie. Or here's some crappy Avon men's cologne. If that, right? Maybe you get a phone call. But that's us men, right? It's like you don't want to be a Mary, you don't want to be a Daisy. Love you, Dad. Gay. Some men grew up like that, right? Where you just the father and son didn't really show a lot of affection to each other. That's how my dad was with his dad, my granddaddy. Which is weird because my granddaddy wasn't like that with his grandkids. I guess when he got older, he mellowed out. And by the time he had grandkids, he was like, all right, hugs and kisses for everybody. Sure, why not? Come here, I'll show you how to chop wood and stuff too while we're at it. Granddad stuff. But yeah, when my dad was a kid, no. It was, I put food on the table and clothing on your back and a roof over your head, don't I? Yeah. So shut up and eat your dinner. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny because my dad and I are not like that. My dad and I, give each other hugs and stuff, tell each other we love each other. And I'm even like that with my uncles, my dad's brothers, and my uncles that are uncles by marriage, like they aren't siblings of my dad. Or my mom doesn't have brothers. She just has sisters. So yeah, I mentioned Greece earlier in this cockamamie article here on the Wikipedia. Yeah, I got an uncle who's Greek, but he's an uncle by marriage, obviously, because I ain't Greek over here. But yeah, it's my uncle. He's my Greek uncle. Just give him a hug. Hey, how you doing, Uncle Mike? But yeah, some families, the fathers and sons. So it may carry into adulthood, right? So Father's Day is just kind of, Dad's going to want to watch the game and fall asleep on the sofa anyway. So how about we just don't bother him today? And that'll be his best as Father's Day. Don't bug Dad. He's watching the sports ball game. So anyways, this thing goes on and breaks down by country. Albania, see what's going on for Canada land, just for shits and giggles here. Mother's Day in Canada is celebrated on the second Sunday in May. It's not a public holiday or bank holiday. In other words, you don't get paid for it. You got to work it at your regular crappy hourly wage. It typically involves small celebrations and gift giving to one's mother, grandmother, or other important female figures in one's family. Celebratory practices are very similar to those of other Western nations. A Quebecois over in beautiful Quebec tradition is for Quebecois men to offer roses or other flowers to the women. Well, sure, it's that French romanticism, eh? Oui, oui. Que belle maman. Les fleurs magnifiques. Oui, oui. But yeah, that's about right. Usually when I was a kid, it was a card, homemade card. And when you got older, yeah, you just buy that Hallmark card, man. They got a nice little poem in there, just sappy enough that you're like, yeah, that's something. It's close to what I was thinking, but not so sappy that you're like, gay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and flowers, dinner, make mom dinner or take her mom to dinner, So yeah, link below for the Wikipedia and their nonsense with the Mother's Day. Let's have a quick look here at this Mothering Day, because again, Canada, former British Commonwealth and all that, and we're quite British in a lot of ways. We're quite French in a lot of ways, but we're also quite British in a lot of ways. We like to have tea. and stuff like that. But I'd never heard of Mother's Day as, this Mothering Day. So this is Britannica.com. They talk about Mother's Day, a holiday in honor of mothers, and a Jarvis and all that. History in the U.S., Grafton, West Virginia, so on and so forth. Wait, what's 1908? May 12th, 1908, Mother's Day service held Jarvis's late mother's church. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought she passed in 05, but there it is. I thought I caught some shenanigans. I think this repeats the same stuff. And it gives you a definition of family. Great. That's weird. That's for Canadians, so you can be politically correct. Like, what counts as a mother for Mother's Day, eh, buddy? Because, I'd feel bad if I left anyone out, eh? Yeah, this article pretty much reiterates the Wikipedia. I thought I had something on the Mothering Day. Guess I could just Wikipedia that right now there, eh? Because curious before we get further on down the road here, eh? Mothering Sunday, that's what it is. I keep calling it Mothering Day, but it's Mothering Sunday, not smothering. I even made that joke, not smothering Monday, which is not a great joke, but there it is. I guess it's good enough to do the same joke twice. Nope, not at all. But here we go. Mothering Sunday. It's a day honoring mother churches. The church where one is baptized and becomes a child of the church. Celebrated since the Middle Ages. Really, that far back there, eh? From the 5th to the 15th centuries. It's quite a chunk. It's quite a big chunk in the old timeline that isn't really linear at all. Where are we here? I got sidetracked. In the United Kingdom, Ireland, and some Commonwealth countries on the 4th Sunday in Lent. On Mothering Sunday, Christians have historically visited their mother church, the church in which they received the sacrament of the baptisms. Constance Adelaide Smith revived its modern observance beginning in 1913 to honor Mother Church, mothers of earthly homes, the Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, and Mother Nature. Yeah, you got to get that New Age crap that they were starting to get into in the late Victorian, early Edwardian time period. They were getting silly with all that stuff. New Age stuff and seances and all kinds of occult oogly boogly hocus pocus mumbo jumbo. You know how they were back then. I don't know. I'm just going by what I heard and read. You know how it is. Anyways, it gained popularity in response to the originally American Mother's Day. The holiday is often known as Mother's Day in the United Kingdom and has become secular celebration of mothers and motherhood. Medieval origin. Later Sunday, the 4th Sunday in the season of Lent, okay, also called Mid-Lent Sunday or Refreshment Sunday. Oh, over here in French Canada, what we do is we dress up in weird masks and come and sing songs and perform weird dances at your house. Remember that? For the Mid-Lent, a couple of shows back, that was weird. Anyway, a day of respite from fasting halfway through the penitential season of Lent, associated with mothering, originates in the texts read during the Mass in the Middle Ages, appearing in the lectionary in sources as old as the Murbach lectionary from the 8th century. The Murbach lectionary. Never heard of it. It's not even a thing for it. Great. Those include several references to mothers, metaphors for mothers. So yeah, there you go. It's in the Gospel of John, Isaiah, Paul the Apostle. A couple of Psalms and whatnot. Book of Common Prayer. Yeah. So there you go. Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff. So reflecting today's association with the story of feeding the 5,000 and the reprieve from fasting, various types of cakes and buns have long been made for Mothering Sunday. Delicious cakes and buns to have with tea, no doubt. Especially simnel cake as gifts to parents. What the heck is this? Simnel cake? It's a fruit cake associated with Lenten Easterners, widely eaten in England, Ireland, countries' patterns of migration from them. Really, Canada's got a huge history of pattern of migration. I've never heard of this there, eh? Then again, I'm not Catholic, though, so maybe that's it. I don't know. It's like almond paste or marzipan. Sure, that sounds delicious. Hey, man, if it's cake, it's probably going to be delicious. If it's pie, it's going to be even more delicious, in my opinion. Right, Morgan? Isabella Live 2.0 is here, right on here. Yes, sir. Welcome. So this is the traditional confection associated with both Mothering Sunday and Easter. In Bristol and other parts of the world, mothering buns remain a speciality for Mothering Sunday. Good old mother's buns.
I wet my jockeys here.
Ridiculous. I went too far. Anyways, there remains the plain yeast leavened buns, iced and sprinkled with hundreds and thousands. Oh, those things. Yeah, like the donut sprinkles there, bud. Eaten for breakfast on that day. Oh, that's the best breakfast of the best day ever. It's basically donuts for breakfast. Welcome to... Why do we... I mean, come on. You get more Canadian than a donut? Especially a nice maple dipped or maple glazed donut there, eh, bud? Come on, buddy. Why would we not... Why would... Mothering Sunday, not Smothering Monday, Mothering Sunday not be a big thing in Canada land? You get to have a big donut for your breakfast that day. Huh. Anyway. Numerous newspapers across many decades attest to children gathering violets to present to their mothers on this day. In urban settings, children supply violets to the children. And then they give you a calendar and whatnot of, the upcoming days and whatnot. So there, I never heard of this. Get a big giant donut for breakfast, and then you have that cake later. You have the donut with your coffee for breakfast. And a guy like me is going back for seconds there, eh, buddy? Come on. And then later on after dinner, or supper, as I like to call it, you get that cake, and you have that with tea. Come on, man. Wiley Metz in the box. Happy Mother's Day, yes. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas. It's a Dutch treat. Yeah, those sprinkles. Yes, that's right. You have it on like toast-ish, kind of. Lack of a better word, toast. Yeah, fruitcake is a thing, right? Merry Christmas, here's a fruitcake. Happy Mothering Sunday, here's a fruitcake. Hey, here you got married? Here's a piece of fruitcake. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is? I got a theory. There's one fruitcake that's ever been made, and somebody cut off a little piece, and that's terrible. That's awful. That is god awful, is what that is. So then they just gave it away. I'll give it to somebody for Christmas. There you go, Merry Christmas. Then that person regifted it, and then it's the same Christmas fruitcake going round and around. It's the fruitcake telephone game. It's the snake eating its tail, but it's fruitcake. That's what that is. Hey, and no offense, if you love fruitcake, hey, more for you then, right? Because us level-headed people, I'm kidding. But, if I don't like it and you do, no sense to arguing. We'll agree to disagree. If I don't like it, that's more for you to enjoy. So you should be happy that I'm making fun of and dislike fruitcake. Don't try to win me over the fruitcake team. I've already made up my mind when I tasted it and keep being insisted upon to, no, not this fruitcake. My Nana made it. You'll like this fruitcake. You try to kill me? There's poison in this, right? Isn't there? I think I taste poison. So if you like it, great. But I ain't having it. Soaked in booze. Now you may have me on something, but I'll take the pound cake soaked in booze, because that's just that heavy yellow cake that doesn't have any of the fruit in it. Do the fruit cake what they did to airships. It's pretty good. Turtle doesn't like sprinkles. Hold the sprinkles. Well, they're not good for turtles. They could choke on them. That's why when you get your 6-pack of beer and it's got the plastic thing, you got to cut those. You don't want to get the turtles. Curtis in the boxes, it's gross. Yeah, I'm with you. But hey, if you like fruitcake, you like fruitcake. There's stuff I love that other people are probably like, are you kidding me? That's the worst stuff ever. I've tried that a million times, and every time it gets worse and worse. I don't know why I keep trying it. It's awful. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's the Mothering Sunday on the Wikipedia. What are we looking at for time here? 54 minutes. All right, let's see this. Sibeli? I don't know what it is. I don't know how to say it. I'm sure they'll tell me. But again, we'll look at the Wikipedia for this, because they made reference to this. Sybil as in bottle. Okay, so I Sibeli. B as in buy. Le as in bottle. E as in fleece. Sibeli. Why was that so difficult? That's too difficult. Anyways, Kublaya mother, perhaps mountain mother, but they're not even sure. Right out of the gates, the first sentence, perhaps mountain mother. Gives it to you in Lydian, Greek. So it's an Anatolian mother goddess. Mother goddess is a major goddess characterized as a mother or progenitor, either as an embodiment of motherhood and fertility or fulfilling the cosmological role of creator and or destroyer figure. Oh, like, isn't that Shiva? Shiva is the destroyer. Isn't that what Shiva is? Shiva is being the one who is destroying things. This is the Shiva, no? This is being Shiva? I'm sorry. Anyway. Pro Jello. Now the Jello debate is raging in the box. Kathy Broughton, I'm pro Jello. Channel 53, pro Jello. Baja says the Jello debate is interesting, either loved or despised. Yes. I do like me some Jello. But don't put like meat in it. Like the gelatin with meat. Like the Jello is good on its own. Okay, you don't need to put fruit or marshmallows or meat in it. All right? I will slap the bricks off you if you put meat in Jello and then put it in front of me and presented as food. I will be really, really upset if you said, "Hey, yo, Frankie, yeah, I'll be bringing Jello to the cookout." Be like, "Really? You're bringing the Jello?" "Yeah, there's gonna be 20 people." Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm gonna bring like 4 kinds of Jello. And I'm like, "Okay, sounds." And you show up with meat, Jello, mellow, and fruit Jello. I'm drowning you in the pool. That's what's happening. I don't even have a pool. I'll dig a hole and fill it with the garden hose just so you can do the blub blub nap. Even that's a stretch, but I see what you're saying. Ubukan says maybe banana in it. Yeah, because it's very soft, right? I mean, I love strawberries. I love berries. I love apples. I love pineapple. If it's fruit, you name it, I love it. Papaya, mango, blackberries, cherries, all the berries. Elderberry, Saskatoon berry, choke cherries, Bing cherries, all the fruits, even the dragon fruit, that creepy thing that looks like it's from some other planet in a 1962 science fiction movie. Where you're like, who the hell was the first person to eat that? Their brave soul. Or the lychee fruit. Who was the first person to figure out, I gotta crack this open because the inside's delicious. The outside looks like some kind of spiny blowfish thing that'll get you, but yeah, I like the Jello, man. I like the Jello. Yeah, banana bread, zucchini bread, coffee cakes, and spice cakes. You know, it's going to sound crazy. Tomato soup cake. It's like one of those Depression era recipes that my mom tried in the 1970s because somebody dusted off some old recipe. And it's, it's like a coffee cake or a spice cake, but you add a can of Campbell's tomato soup in it. And you'd think, ew, it's tomato cake? It doesn't taste tomatoey at all. It's like zucchini cake. It doesn't taste zucchini, right? It adds moisture and creaminess and richness to an otherwise pretty run-of-the-mill loaf or bread or cake, right? What you got to do is you got to put pudding in the cake. Right, Bill Cosby? That's right. What you got to do is you got to take the Jello pudding and you put it inside of the cake mix. Now, my wife Camille would always put the Jello pudding in the pop, pip, pippity pop, pip, poop. There it goes in the ramba. Anyways, I really got off track from this. It's obviously it's a deity, right? In like Western Greek colonies, it's this lady right here. She's got a wolf, and she's got a funny hat, a crown. This looks very Queen Victoria. Oh, hello. She's holding something here. I don't know what that is. What is that? What are you holding there, lady? Some kind of cornucopia of fruit, maybe? I grabbed this, and we'll zoom in and get a better look at it in the latter half of the show. Oh, yeah, it says right there, cornucopia. With a lion. Looks like a wolf, but sure. Okay. So she met with a mixed reception. She became partially assimilated to aspects of Earth goddess Gaia, of her possibly Minoan equivalent Raya, and of the harvest mother goddess Demeter. Some city-states, notably Athens, evoked her as a protector, but her most celebrated Greek rites and processions show her as essentially a foreign, exotic mystery goddess who arrives in a lion-drawn chariot to the accompaniment of wild music, wine, and a disorderly, ecstatic following. That doesn't sound like my mom. My mom's pretty cool, but showing up in a lion-drawn chariot with wild music and wine and disorderly people's following sounds like a That sounds like a Joan Jett concert. You know what I'm saying? Uniquely in Greek religion, she had a eunuch, mendicant, manservant, I'm guessing, priesthood. Many of her Greek cults include rites to a divine Phrygian castrate shepherd consort Attis. That's quite the handle. What do you? I'm a castrated shepherd consort. What do you do? I'm a farmer. It's probably a Greek invention. Again, with the probably. That's with all the. We're coming to you for the information, Wikipedia. What's the probablys and the maybes and the possiblies? In Greece, Cybele became associated. Is that it? Cybele became associated with mountains, town and city walls, fertile nature, and wild animals, especially lions. Well, yeah, that's what's your first giveaway. The wolf-like lion that pulls her chariot, I guess. Totally different in Anatolia. That's a big mama right there. Water the Tree says, my mom parties. Right on, man. Right on, bud. Like, seriously, if your mom likes to party, let her party hardy, bud. Let her party hardy. Vaughn, Old World Underworld, says, I'm at work sitting at an old star fort. There's a fellow playing the bagpipes here. Huh. I like the bagpipes. I like the sound. I love the call of the pipes, laddie. I love the call of the pipes. That's the worst Scottish accent. I know. It's jelly in Kentucky too. It's jelly in Iowa. Oh, as opposed to Jello, it's jelly. Yeah. We just call it Jello, but that's the brand name. Yeah, that's the brand name. Same as, hey, you got an aspirin? Hey, you got a Tylenol? Hey, can I have a Coke? It doesn't have to be those, but it's not doer. I'm not going to die on the hill if you got that Pepsi and I wanted a Coke. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. The goddess Torta. Torta's Italian for pie. Kind of a pie. Torta, a tort, a tart, tartlet. Torta is basically an Italian version of pie. PCS World in the box says, we sure ain't talking about Carol from the Bradys. Yeah, no, it's not Mrs. Brady in this one. She's got two lions, though, flanked by large felines as armrests. Not pulling her chariot. They're just holding up her robust arms. No contemporary text or myth survives to attest the original character nature of Cybele's Phrygian cult. She may have evolved. She may have evolved from a statuary type found at this place in Anatolia of the corpulent and fertile female figure accompanied by large felines dated to the 6th millennium BC. So they can narrow all this down, but she may have. I like how they bounce between laser precision with the facts to complete vagueness. It's often in the same sentence. Good on you, Wikipedia. You're the best in the West, baby. Anyways, Phrygian art of the 8th century, the cult attributes to the Phrygian mother goddess include tended lions, a bird of prey, a small vase for her booze, her libations, or other offerings. Let's face it, it's booze. So it goes back to 2nd century AD. Well, no, it goes further than that, but I mean, it's going up to then. And then, the Greeks grab a hold of it. Oh, there you go. There's a coin or something with a chariot. That's horses, though, isn't it? That looks like horses, not lions. Oh, yeah, no, maybe it's a lion. So a lot of that going on. Interesting. Attis, right? Who's Attis again? Oh, he's the consort. Right. The eunuch consort. Oh, then the Romans get a hold and they, pervert it, twist it, change it. imperial era with Julius Caesar. Festivals and cults. This wacky song and dance going on here. Chariot races at the Circus Maximus. That's sounds like a pretty fun Mother's Day, if you ask me. Holy Week, Hilaria. Equinox to honor Cybele. Is that where we get the word hilarious? As being something so funny that you literally lose your mind? That's what hilarious means, right? Is something is so funny that your old brain bone cracks and your Brian goes cuckoo, right? Anyways, links below for, minor cults, major cults, and all the various evolving and changing imagery and iconography regarding Cybele, right, Kimmy? Anyway, enough goofing around. There was one more here, and that was that Raya? And then we'll take a mid-show break. Did you mean Raya? Yes, of course. No, I meant Chris Rea, the musician. Yeah, that's what I meant. He's ancient Greek. Sure. So is a mother goddess in ancient Greek religion and mythology, the Titan daughter of the earth goddess Gaia. But they said that she was like a mystery goddess in Greece, or was that somewhere else? Was that in Anatolia or whatever? I'm confused now. We'll have to rewind it back later. And the sky god Uranus, himself the son of Gaia. Wait, what? I didn't know that. So Uranus is his own daddy, because Gaia, he's the son of Gaia, but he and Gaia made Rhea, the Titan. Okay. Older sister of Cronus. Okay. Is also her consort. What's going on in this family? No other towns nearby where you could find some other people to marry and mess around with? Yeesh. And the mother of the 5 eldest Olympian gods: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, and Zeus. Oh, and of course Hades, king of the underworld. Oh, wow, okay. Pretty important then. When Cronus learned that he was destined to be overthrown by one of his children, like his father before him, he swallowed all the children Rhea bore as soon as they were born. Revving up hell out of that engine there in the background. Sorry about that. When Rhea had her 6th and final child, Zeus, she spirited him away and hid him in Crete. Just like him, he stole that story from Moses. They stole that story and gave it to Moses. They stole it from Zeus. And they probably stole it from somebody else and gave it to Zeus. But anyways, giving Cronus a rock to swallow instead, thus saving her youngest son, who would go on to challenge his father's rule and rescue the rest of siblings. Following Zeus's defeat of Cronus and the rise of the Olympian gods into power, Rhea withdraws from her role as the queen of the gods to become a supporting figure on Mount Olympus. She has some roles in the new Olympian era. She attended the birth of her grandson Apollo, raised her other grandson Dionysus. After Persephone, I don't know my names, people, I'm sorry, was abducted by Hades. Rhea was sent to Demeter by Zeus. In the myth of Pelops, she resurrects the unfortunate youth after he's been slain. Oh, yeah, just minor role, like she could commit resurrections and save people and stuff. Yeah, well, some of that's stolen from Isis too. Yeah, that's right. That's how the stories, see? Just like today, where we talk about the, his story, as a lot of these narratives repeat themselves, just rubber stamping. Yeah, this architect created 38 of these buildings, and he was an architect for 20 years. Oh, he only lived to be 58 years old. But he never went to architect school. He got to start winning a contest. And, and these stories repeat. Same thing with this stuff. It just repeats and repeats. Slap different names, whatever the case may be. And Robert's your mother's brother. Early tradition, she is known as the mother of gods. There you go. And therefore strongly associated with Gaia and Cybele, who have similar functions. The classical Greeks saw her as the mother of Olympian gods and goddesses. The Romans identified her as Magna Mater, their form of Cybele, and the goddess Ops. I almost said Oops. Should be either a terrible name for a goddess, but Oops is worse than Ops. It's pronounced Oops. At least you could try to, Anyways, gives her a family tree, which is really at this pretty much a telephone pole. Not many branches on the old family tray here. Yeah, link below for the Wikipedia for Rhea. But it's essentially the same. They show it's the lady with a lion and the headdress with the thing coming down. It's the same thing. At least this looks more like a lion than a wolf. Their foot on a rock, though. We see that a lot too, don't we? It's kind of a little cherub here. Some letters or numbers or something. Anyway, we'll have a little bit of a closer look here after the mid-show break. Speaking of which, give you a sneak peek at your upcoming midweek vintage footage, as per usual, here on the show. If you're new to the channel, or as a reminder, every Wednesday, vintage footage video. I find old-timey footage, the older the better. Edit with some music, put it up for you on Wednesdays. I try to keep it Canadian, if I can. Friday, you get your boots on the ground. Sunday, back here for the live show. So every Sunday live show, I give you a little sneak peek. And this one is actually closely associated with not only my childhood and both my parents' childhood, but my grandparents' not childhoods, but teen years. This is an old amusement park called Belmont Park. Technically, it's kind of sort of Montreal, close enough to be considered Montreal. I think it was built in 1923 and it lasted until the 80s. I went there as a kid. It had, I think, Canada's oldest or second oldest wooden roller coaster. They had all kinds of amusement rides, but they also had pony rides. And they also not only had bumper cars, but bumper boats. Remember bumper boats? Then, of course, they had the jalopy-looking cars on the track that, you could steer it and pedal it, but you couldn't because it was on a track. But it was like a real car with the wheels turning and the whole bit. They had those. Did I mention pony rides? Yeah, they had pony rides. And then your usual, like a county fair or whatever, they had the midway with the rides, but then they had the cotton candy and the soda pop and the hot dogs and the French fries and all that stuff, right? So yeah, my grandparents used to go to this place in their teens. My parents went as kids and as teens, and I went as a kid a couple of times. Belmont Park in Quebec. I found some old footage from 1941, home movies that are in color, believe it or not. So that's kind of nice. So yeah, without further ado, that is Belmont Park, 1941. How long is it? It's about just over 2 minutes, I believe. Sorry, just over 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. And it's a banger. So smoke them if you got them. Put on your ear goggles, your headphone cans. Turn her up to 11 there, buddy. And we'll see you on the other side, of 3.5-ish minutes. All right, everyone. Be right back. Cheers. All right. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Frankie here, New West Reset, New West Reset Live, episode 117 here today. The Mother's Day edition of the show, Goddess of the Old World. Top half of the show, we looked at Cybele and Rhea, and touched on Gaia and stuff a little bit here and there. And we looked at sort of the real history, well, at least what they tell us is the real history, of the celebration of what's become known as Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. It's terrible. But thank you for joining me here on this Sunday, May the 11th, 2025. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me here. As always, really appreciate it. Of course, it's Sunday Fun Day, Mother's Day edition. Woo! Woo! If you haven't already, give a guy one of these, the usual things down here. Helps a guy out. Appreciate all of you for sharing, subscribing. Welcome to all the new subscribers, new friends of the channel. Welcome to the, welcome to the
shenanigans.
That's what we love digging up around here is shenanigans. Didn't find too many shenanigans, just a lot of weird, creepy Roman and Greek mythology stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Who we got here? Wiley's here. Good to see you, Wiley. Vaughn is here as well. Old World, Underworld. Check out both of their both of their channels. That's what I'm trying to say. PCS World in the box. Hello, hello. Jassy Nix is here. Kathy Broughton as well. Hiya, Hippie. Hippie Shake is here. Lost and Found History Rewritten. Eric in the box. Check out his channel as well, please, please. Yeah, that's Wiley's given the guitars and the music emojis. That was Sloan. A song called Gimme That. I originally, acquired that song as the studio version and had it on the video, and they restricted it in Canada. The band is Canadian. The video footage is Canadian. I'm Canadian. I'm in Canada right now, people. Right up in Canada land as we speak. Here in Purdy, Alberta, in Calgary. And anyone in Canada would not have been able to see the video. I'm like, what? So, I found the live version of that song to kind of weasel. Shh, don't tell me what. Shh, shh, shh. Don't say anything, okay? It's our secret. So yeah, the sound quality is not the bestest. But it sounds pretty good for a live band. You know what I'm saying? So that is Canada's Sloan from Nova Scotia, there, buddy? They were Weezer before Weezer was Weezer, but they're better. So there you go. PCS World says, how come nobody recognizes Mother Earth on Mother's Day? Well, they do in the Mothering Sunday in the UK and some other countries, but yeah. I think today you can too. Like you can be like, you know what? I can't go and see my mama because she's gone. She's passed on to the great realm in the sky or whatever. I don't know. Nobody knows, man. It's all best guess. Best guess. But anyway, maybe you don't have anybody that you can go and visit and give them a peck on the cheek and say, I love you, Mama, on Mother's Day, right? So, hey, love Mother Earth. Sure. Why not? But yeah, they do have Earth Day. That whole thing. Every day should be Earth Day. Every day should be Earth Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Siblings Day. Every day should be Earth Day and People Day. Every day. And there wouldn't be any problems, man. Wouldn't be any problems. You know what I mean? Anyway, once again, thanks for joining me here. Appreciate it as always. It's a joke, he says. Sorry. It's hard to pick up on the sarcasm and, in a chat or a text. You know how that is. Plus, I'm very gullible because I'm a sheltered Canadian and I'm very naive. So I fall for stuff very easily. I live in the city, but deep down, I'm a country boy. So I'm just not stupid, but very simple. Simple in the sense that I'm not a complicated man. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take much to pull the wool over. That's why I got to kind of, look into stuff. Anyways, I said I had some pictures. Sure enough, I do. I most certainly do. I have these statuettes of different art, different depictions, different mediums, I guess, if you will, of Cybele and Rhea. Rhea. We'll go with Rhea. So this first one is a statuette. Well, it says it right there. Statuette of Cybele. So you can see a couple of lions there. She seems to be sitting, so they're not pulling a chariot at this point. They're just kind of chilling down by her feet. She's wearing that very Queen Victoria-esque, ridiculously tiny crown on this one, but then it has the almost Mother Mary, Virgin Mary kind of head dressing. Holding something here. That's her. Is that her booze? That might be her bowl of wine. She's getting ready to party. You know, when you show up to a joint with two lions, you're ready to party. You're ready to party. This is Rhea, but essentially it's the same figure, right? Lions. It's hard to tell here, but that same headdress. Oh, here we got some kind of bird of prey here. And all kinds of weird things. Looks like they dug this up from somewhere. So it's not a complete, what's this, a dinosaur? They got a T-Rex in there, people. Oh no, it's some kind of fish or something. Okay. So pretty badly damaged, and they reconstructed it as best they could. I don't know how they could tell that it's Rhea. She's got no face. I guess the lion's the tip-off. Not sure what this is. This another lion? Oh no, it's the same lion. Okay, he's facing that way instead of that way. It's very confusing because it's a jigsaw puzzle that's incomplete. So Rhea, there we go again. Here's Rhea. There's the cornucopia, the fruit of the loom. For all you Mandela-affected peoples out there. Cornucopia. There's no cornucopia. There's a cornucopia. The Bernstein Bears, dang it. I know, it's weird. It's weird. I personally do seem to recall a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo, but it's just me. I don't know. No little tiny funny crown on here, though. She's got the holly or some kind of pointed leaf. Maybe those are maple leaves, eh? Maybe she's Canadian, bud. She's got a sheath of wheat or some kind of cereal grain. Something weird going on with her hand here. I don't know. Psst. Hey, where's your lions, lady? No lion today? Lions at the vet The veterinarian. Okay. Here's some old coin. Okay, so now she's got the crown again. There's a couple of lions holding something in her hand here again, looks like. And this hand too. She's holding in that downward. We often see the downward holding of the pine cone or the pineal gland. This doesn't look like that though. It looks like it could be a flower or something maybe. I don't know. Could this be some kind of pan flute, weird instrument to play her wild music? Certainly possible, I guess. Something up here too. Okay. There's a painting, or mural, I should say, excuse me. There's the lions. Okay, I was like, wait, is this Gaia slash, or sorry, Rhea slash Sibylle? But yep, there's the lions. This time she's just surfing them. I'm just right gonna surf these two lions, bud. No, don't worry about the chariot. No, I'll just surf them. You mean ride them? No. I literally mean stand and surf them. Oh, look out, YouTube. Boobies. Sorry, people. Forgot to give you the parental guidance is advised warning. Got some weird thing here blowing some wind. It's butterfly wings on a, whatever this is, a winged person, winged being. What's going on back here? Ah, festivities. Yes, the raucous behavior. There's the wild music. Somewhere around here, some booze. Maybe this big cask is full of wine. Maybe they're having the chariot delivered. Here's your chariot. Thanks, eh? Here's some flowers as payment for my chariot. I'm going to just hook up the lions and off we go. I don't know what's going on. There's the thumbnail. Funny little crown. Looks like a castle here, doesn't it? This time I just decided to bring one lion, but I'm going to sit all proper and ladylike, like your great grandma used to do on a bicycle. Here's that symbol again. Oh, and a half moon. Is that what that other one was? Yeah, a half moon and a star, or the sun maybe, sun and moon. I'm going to go with sun and moon. She got her stick and her hoop. Remember that game? The stick with the hoop. What a blast that was. I mean, that's, before Game Boy and all that, but it's a good time. Okay, Rhea or Sybil. Yeah, interchangeable. Why not? Not only lions pulling the chariot, but also lions. Oh, no, that's a griffin. I was going to say lion here too, but griffin. Foot on the orb. It's interesting. Well, you got to be proper, right? You got to side saddle that lion. The painting is kind of scary. I will agree. Channel 53 says that painting is kind of scary. Ah, there we go. Thank you. Eric, Lost and Found History Rewritten, says art is okay with YouTube. It just can't be a real photo. Yeah, I can't show a topless photo of, just some lady. They get upset. PCS World, the lions don't look happy. No, not one bit, especially this one. He looks right pissed, bud. Right pissed. He's looking back going, really? Are you kidding me? He's actually looking at him because you could tell he's further ahead. So he's not pulling his weight. I'm not actually even seeing a harness of any kind on these lions. So it's pulled by magic, I guess. So now no hoop would stick. Now it's a stick and a key. Looks kind of more like a dude, except for the slightest hint of a bosom. Of course, the funny crown with the headdress. Those lions must be really moving more than it looks because this is flapping in the breeze and she's kicking up some dust here, bub. The noses always go missing, eh? It's weird. Fingers, sure, I get it. But the nose, eh? Maybe somebody was ticked at her. Somebody's like, I'm not into this cult, so I'm going to deface the... But this is definitely not a crown. Well, I mean, it's a crown in the sense that it's a headpiece, but it's definitely a building. Like, am I gone wacko cuckoo crazy, or are these big stones? Like, this is like coining on the side of a building, big masonry blocks or stones of some sort, arch with a door, 2 pillars, and every face of this thing has a door. Like, am I cuckoo, or is that a building on her head? So big I have to wear star forts as hats. Yeah, it's like a castle crown, right? And that one very definitely is a structure. I mean, it's got doors and blocks. Hippie Shake says maybe birds peck at the noses. It could be. Could be. Birds just land on the chin and just peck, peck, peck. It's a woodpecker. No lions, no stick, no wine, but going all out with the headpiece on this one. Wow, now we're talking. Lions. This lion also looking very pissed off. One angry, one sad. Is that the deal? One angry, one sad? It's the laughing and crying of the Greek tragedy theater masks thing. You know what I'm talking about? Foot on a big orb this time with the zodiac on it. Looks like, yeah, Cancer and Gemini and I don't know, Aries and Sagittarius and whatnots and so forth. But other foot is just stomping all these poor... Don't step on the dog. Come on now. I mean, I get why you're not going to want to step on the porcupine. That makes a lot of sense to me. But why are you stepping on the dog, man? It's man's best friend, lady. Don't do that. There it is. It looks like a pineapple, but that's wheat or grain of some kind. So now she's holding in the same hand instead of one in each. Grain and this pineapple-looking thing. Pineal. 2 cornucopias on this one. I'm assuming maybe 2 more on the other side, so 4. You got here a swan. Look out, if that's a Canada goose. No, it's not a Canada goose. We're okay. Is this a rabbit? Eagle? What we got here? Some kind of critter. What's going on back here, too, though? Ten in the fields, oxen and cart. Some kind of pointed structure here with a little thingamabob on top. That's interesting. Could be a tree. Maybe it's a pine tree. Doesn't look like any of the other trees, but I don't know. Just a lot of interesting stuff going on in this wood carving. Yeah, she's keeping her feet warm. Yeah, well, usually the dog will lay at your feet or sometimes on your feet. My cat, I used to have a Maine Coon. He was like 38, 39 pounds at his peak fighting weight. And he was a big baby, and he used to like to cuddle and stuff. And often he would lay on top of my feet. You know, if I'd be sitting down on the sofa, I don't know, watching a movie or whatever. He'd lay down right across my feet. I'm like, my feet? Really? Okay, you're a brave cat. Channel 53 says pineapples mean something at the grocery store wine aisle. Yeah, that's the wine to bring to the party. These people are, you know what they're doing? It looks like they're toiling away with their hard daily lives, but they're just getting things ready for the party because look who's in town with the wild music and the wine. Hippie Shake says, Frankie, that's a big cat. Yeah, he was big. He was, well, Maine Coon, they're big. And he was super fluffy too, so he looked even bigger. And people would be like, oh, wow, he looks really big, but he's super fluffy. And then they pick him up and they're like, whew, wow, he is big. Well, that's because I spoiled him. I mean, he was a stray that I rescued. I figured he had it rough enough. So now it's my turn to look after him. So I spoiled him. And yeah, he may have gotten overweight a little bit. But, you know, I'd exercise him. You know, I had the toys that would make him, you know, attack the toy, give him some exercise. Plus, he'd get the zoomies, right? Canada Goose is protecting the carriage. If you want a vicious creature to protect any of your personal belongings, you can do far worse than a cobra chicken, a Canada Goose. Them murder turkeys, boy, I tell you what. Got a pheasant down here, I just noticed, and all kinds of bird theme here. So you have a bird, and then you have bird in the carving, representation of carvings. This eagle's getting crushed, by the way, by this big orb. I'm fascinated by this etching, as if you couldn't tell. Here's something that's, this is a Greek vase, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This is Rhea, just riding the lion. Looks side saddle again, looking like. And again, this crown is not the giant structure on my head crown. It looks more like a tiara style crown, maybe, with her hair. Unless those are the arches that we're seeing, and it just looks like her wavy hair. I don't know. This lion looks like it's crying. You're a little heavy, lady. If you're big enough to wear a building on your head, you're too heavy for riding lions. It's weird. Looks like an upside down cactus, but that can't be. They didn't have those over there. So this is a painting, not the mural. I confused them, but this is Sibylle. Sibylle. There's the wacky crown, and again with the head dress coming down. Any lions? Don't see a single lion. This person looks like they're having a migraine or something. Or they're shielding themselves from this. What is this? Who's this guy? Is that her consort? Oops. This person's having some problems, though. What's this down here? Is that a foot? Oh, it's her foot. I thought it was a bird at first, but it's her foot. His/her foot. He, him, they. I don't know who this is, but they're trying to cop a feel over here. We're trying to pickpocket. Everybody's trying to pickpocket Sibylle here. What do you got for me? What do you got under here? Not seeing any lions, though. I'm seeing a building back here. Big building. 2-story building. Yeah, that's it. They, them. I don't know. You know, the alphabet people stuff. This is Sibylle as well. The earth personified by the goddess Sibylle. Terra. It's, yeah, it's Latin for earth. The ground, really, I think. Okay, so here she's kind of a giant because people back here, even with the perspective, they're awfully small. And why are they hiding out in a cave when you got all kinds of nice big buildings way back here? Skyscraper buildings, by the way. Oh, I see. They look like they've been destroyed. So you're seeking shelter. That makes a little bit more sense. Seeking shelter from the destroyed cataclysm of the city in the underground, in the cave here. What's this? Goddess Terra and something. Terrace. Scepter. Okay. I don't really read Latin that well, so. Nostra laborers. Well, this guy is laboring here. Okay. Yeah, so if you read Latin, if you went to school in the 1950s or 60s and they forced you to take Latin for some reason, even though you had no plans of being a biologist or a botanist or a zoologist at all, you just had to take Latin. Ba asking, she's stabbing herself? Kind of looks like she's giving herself a shot to the leg there, yeah? Giving herself the jab. Maybe she's got the case of the sugars, got the diabetes, and I got to give myself a shot in the leg. No, you don't do it in the leg. You do it in the abdomen, don't you? I don't know. But yeah, it's good notice, good sharp eye on that one. Good call out, yeah. And again, not a crown, most definitely a castle. Most definitely. I'm wearing a castle building on my head. A set of pipes on her there, right? Channel 53 say looking like China from the WWE/WWF. Yeah. Ubukana shanking. In a serious shanking. I think that's the last one. I think so, yeah. All right, so there you go. Cybele / Rhea, goddess of the old world, mother of the world, mother of the realm, the earth. Very interesting forms of medium, right? The carvings, sculptures, statuettes, just in terms of how much detail you can get. But the things with the frescoes and the murals and the paintings is that you can put the subject, Rhea or Cybele, in a context, right? And have stuff in the background, whereas a statue is pretty much a statue. Yeah, she might have her lions and her foot on an orb or whatever, but because it's a statuette or what have you, or a carving, there's not much that's going to be going on in the background unless it's a relief carving on a big, huge stone or something. But with the wood carvings and the etchings and the paintings, get to see some very interesting stuff way off in the background. Would she be considered Mother Sophia? Probably. They'd probably like to cram all of them into like a couple of different overall mothers, mother of the earth and the goddess of fertility. And they'd say, it's going to be one of these 2 or 3 goddesses, right? The goddess Mother Earth, the goddess of fertility, and the goddess of, I don't know, some other motherly attribute, I don't know. They seem to have a lot to do with crops, like the sheaths or the wheat, whatever that was, some kind of cereal grain. So, Finally, Matt says, "What the hell is going on with our deranged history?" And then he says, "Well, his story, yeah, Virgin Mary, yeah, like all the all the holy mothers of all the religions, the myths, the legends. That's why whenever they dig up some little statue or statuette, like that rather rotund lady from the whatever that was, the 4th century or whatever, right? They're just like, oh, it's fertility, or it's the goddess of the earth, or it's the goddess mother of the, because they don't know. It's a statue of a lady. She looks pretty important because of either her size, therefore her status, or all her accoutrement, right? All her little paraphernalia, her crown, her staffs, her foot on orbs, birds on her shoulders, holding an orb in her hand. That's a favorite. So, yeah, and then they just say, okay, there's like a classification of 4 or 5. We're going to just lump them all into one of these 4 or 5. That's good enough for these dumb, mouth-breathing, filthy masses. Put that up on the Wikipedia, and there you go. Good enough. At least that's my take on it. But again, I don't pretend to know. I don't know, man. I'm just a Canadian up here trying to figure stuff out, eh? So with that, where are we at here? 10 minutes before the 2-hour mark. So yeah, get ready to wind it down here very shortly. Reminder, a couple of projects coming up here on the channel. Still working on the film, the documentary film, Reset 1700. Look for a summer release on that. Again, keep your ocular sphericals hooked onto the channel here as we get closer to that date. There'll be some, I've released a couple of official teasers, but there'll be an official trailer comes out, and maybe, I don't know, some other stuff, maybe some stills from the film released as, tasty little morsels for you. As the weather is warming, expanding my circle of boots on the ground here in the city and throughout the province too. Try to get out of the city into maybe some other cities or smaller towns that have interesting, out of place buildings, and do some boots on the ground. And now, they have some wacky narratives to some of these towns and cities. Maybe try to get, maybe a guy go out to Banff. Maybe a fella can make it to Banff this summer. I don't know. It was kind of the plan. Just try to get out to Banff this summer. A couple of places like that. What else is going on? All kinds of stuff. All you got to do is, just hit the bell for the notifications that don't work, and you won't find out, and it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. All right, enough sarcasm. Let's see what we got here. Got a couple of funny little things that we could share here. Of course, our friend here on the channel, a friend of mine, friend of ours over here, Kathy Brodden, always sending us some funny stuff. Let's see what we got here. Oh, sure. Why not this one of horses snoring? Just for why not?
I thought you were dead.
The horses lying on his side. She yells, "Stephen, I thought you were dead." By the way, who's naming horses these days that they called this horse Stephen? I mean, I'm not saying you have to name your horse like Nutmeg or Hidalgo or Trigger or Silver or whatever, but Stephen? Really? I got a cousin named Stephen. And hey, I named my horse Stephen. He'd be like, really? Why would you do that? Yeah, that's like that little bit. Alan. Oh, that's not Alan. That's Steve, isn't it? Steve. Horse Bob. Mr. Ed. It's the talking horse, and Francis was the talking mule. I can't remember.
Stephen! I thought you were dead. Fucking hell!
No.
These horses are just snoring with Joe Horseman. I mean, horses are pretty awesome anyway. So, I mean, hey, no surprise. You know, I live here in Calgary, Alberta. It's cowboy land out here. So, you know, a fella is going to be partial to horses. But yeah, absolutely. He chilling. Hippie shakes with the, aw, it is cute. Look. Boop. Plus, just like any other intelligent animal, horses are, you know, they have personalities. You know, some horses can be mean, some can be ornery, some can be friendly, some can be sweet, and some can be hilarious. Oh, there goes the train. You hear the train? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I could not help myself. Steven! My God, I thought you were dead. Hippie Shakes has never sat on a horse ever. Really? Really? Huh. Oh, you're missing out. Because Water the Tree is kind of right there. They're kind of like big dags. You like dags? Sorry, what? Dags. You like dags? Oh, dogs. Yeah, I like dags. Kathy Broad says, and this came out after the Kentucky Derby. Well, no wonder they're all sleeping laying down, because I always heard horses sleep standing up, which isn't entirely true. They will actually lay down. But no wonder they're just plumb tuckered from running around doing that there Kentucky Derby. So sure, okay, that makes sense. Joe Rogan has not lived to be 103 years old. Take off, eh? That is absolutely not true.
That doesn't make sense.
But thanks for being here. Joe Rogan is still alive and well, doing his semi-decent 1 foot on either side of the fence with every issue, so I can flip-flop easily, but still most popular podcast in the world. So he's doing all right. Joe's doing all right. Don't go tell Joe Rogan I said that now. He'll be angry at me and he'll give me a judo kick or what is he? What did he take? Kung Fu, karate, some martial art, aikido, hapkido, something with dough in it, maybe. Well, yeah, later on jiu-jitsu, sure, but I mean, I took Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu also, so I ain't afraid of anybody with the Muay Thai and the jiu-jitsu. But you throw a couple of other martial arts is in there, you know, and you get that well-rounded mixed martial arts disciplines, and now I'm in trouble. I got a bit of wrestling background from high school, but that was a long time ago, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Anyways, what else we got for Goofy? I think I got a couple more Goofy files here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, of course. Come on. We got to get one here from Anthony. Shout out to Anthony.
About the private room for rent? Do I need to do first and last? Or can I just do first, considering you're going to tie me up and kill me anyways? Yeah, I'm calling about the handmade doll. There's freaking nothing I'd rather have sitting in the corner of my living room than this lady. Why does it look like she's just itching to complain to the waitstaff? What's taking so long? I ordered the drink. This would be a great idea for a podcast, wouldn't it? Do you want to be a guest on my podcast? It's kind of what we do is we sit across from each other while we're taking shits. That's the episode. So I need to solve this mystery. Somebody sent me this with no context.
I couldn't. Sorry, Anthony. I got nothing for you on this one here, pal. There's nothing I can do to even lend you a hand towards giving you a hint of pointing you in the right direction as to what's going on with this one. Steve says it's my first time on your channel, but because he didn't ban me, I'm going to subscribe. Then he says, oh, I'm already subscribed. Well, geez, double thanks a lot there, bud. Come on, we like to have fun around here, eh? So I'm not gonna ban you over goofing around with the Joe Rogan. It's not like he's my brother or something. It's not gonna. You don't need to bring your butt hurt cream around here, bud. We're pretty good there, eh?
Do I need to do first and last, or can I just do first, considering you're gonna tie me up and kill me anyways?
That's what you call brutal honesty right there. Oh, man, he cracks me up every time. What else do I have? Do I have another one? I might have another one. Just because just because it's fun. Oh, yes. Of course I do. Okay, so a few moments back there, when we were looking at the photos there, buddy, of the Reyes / Sibylle. And there was the one etching or whatever that was, rendering, a piece of art that where she was stepping on that dog. Oh, come on now, that is not how you treat a dog. This is how you treat a dog. By the way, my brother sent me this because I walk to and from work. It's about a 10, maybe 15-minute walk. And along the way, I usually end up petting 2 or 3 dogs, because I know a lot of my neighbors here in my neighborhood, in my community, and they're out walking their dogs right around that time of the morning when I'm, heel-toeing it to work. And consequently, when I finish work and I'm walking home, they're out walking their dogs again. So I get to know them and their dogs as, So I get home and pretty much every day, if my brother's home on his day off, and I get home, he's like, hey, man, how many dogs did you pet today, bud? I pet 3 dogs today and a cat, I'm an animal lover, but I got a real soft spot for dogs. So he sent me this. Anyway, let's keep it rolling here.
Kiss him on the lips. Walking down the street, I see a fluffy dog. Holy.
Oh, language warning. I'm late to the game again with the parental guidance. Viewer discretion advised for strong language warning.
Shit, I wanna pet that dog. I'll pet any dog. I don't care what kind. Fat, skinny, sneaky, I don't mind. Hey, buddy, I wanna pet your dog. Please, buddy, I wanna pet your dog.
There you go. You get the idea. Some weird band called Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre. But it's got a catchy hook. Hey, buddy, I want to pet your dog. Please, buddy, can I pet that dog? Is that dog for petting? That's right. Not like the old Pink Panther Peter Sellers skit. Does your dog bite? No. So he goes to pet the dog and it bites him. I thought you said your dog doesn't bite. That's not my dog. Yeah, the lyrics are solid. I'll pet any dog. I don't care what kind. Fat, skinny, sticky, or stinky. I didn't catch it whether it's sticky or stinky. It might be stinky. Fat, skinny, stinky, I really don't mind. I'm really hoping it's not Cousin Vinny. I hope it's no hidden. I hope it doesn't have some kind of hidden meaning that you might hear when you're in the jailhouse or something. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not jail slang for something. It's prison slang. Oh, no, I was totally wrong. I was totally wrong about that. I really don't. I'll pet a dog all day, but I don't want to pet that dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pet that dog. Steve says, it's nice that he says, please. Well, yeah. Well, because you can kind of come off a little aggressive and maybe a little intimidating with the hard rock / heavy metal music. So, but when you come correct with the nice manners, then people are like, oh, these are some nice, polite young men. They just happen to like the more hardcore musics is all. I will let him pet my dog. Anyways, highly recommend Texas Toast, Chainsaw Massacre. Can I pet your dog? Are they Canadian? They can't be. Are they Canadian? I don't know. I just assumed they were from Texas, but there's gullible little old Frankie once again. It's Texas in the name, so they got to be from Texas, right? You know, Texas Toast isn't really from Texas. Neither is Texas Donuts, right? Are you sure? Because Texas Donuts are real big and Texas is big. Don't mess with Texas now. Just assumed. But if they're Canadian, maybe it's worth a Google on the goggle machine. I don't know. I just never heard of them whatsoever. So let me just Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre musical band. There they are. Okay. A lot of stuff on the HooTubes. From? Question mark? They're from Chicago. Chicago. From Oswego, Chicago. There you go. So they're not from Texas, but they ain't Canadian. They Texas, Alberta. No, but there is a Calgary, Texas. We had a look at that on the live show quite a while back. There's a Calgary, Texas. No, Calgarian, Texas? Something like that. So, yes, Chilagans. That's right. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, don't forget, if it's still Mother's Day where you are, go and see your mama. Give her a hug. Give her a peck on the cheek. Tell her you love her. Maybe bring her a piece of fruit cake and some carnations. Get her a dog to put her foot on, and it'll be a pretty good Mother's Day, I guess. Don't forget to, have her get pulled around by some lions, and it'll be pretty good. And if you see a dog out there, don't put your foot on it, like your mama done did. Give it a pet. Give it some ear scritches and some tummy rubs, and there you go. So that's it. That's going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset Live, episode 117. The Mother's Day edition of the show here, Goddess of the Old World. We had a look at Sibylle and Rhea. Anyway, I'm still having too much fun over here.
You know what I mean? All right, we're having a good time.
Anyways, enough goofing around. Thanks a lot, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of you moms, all of you mamas, all of you mommies, mums, mammies, ma, mother, You know, all the good stuff. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to, do all the things out there. And until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right, everyone? Oh, sirens. Just time to wind up the show. They're getting my rides here. Bye.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.